Hi, I have my nieces. Um, they are doing good motivational things in the future. We in the Bay Area right now, East Bay, and they do two different things. Well, actually, she doesn't want me to bust her other talent out,
Oh my gosh.
but yeah, she sings and it's good, positive music. I'm gonna start with Raven, and she gonna tell you about herself.
Well, hi, my name is Raven. I'm currently in my last year of undergrad at UC Davis studying sustainable environmental design and minoring in community regional development. My goal is once I finish my Master's of Architecture program within the next few years, is to start working within the realm of like architecture and how it meets sustainability and how that kind of intersects with social change. My end goal is to start and own my own architecture firm that focuses on creating more affordable housing solutions for low income and minority communities. And when I talk about sustainability, most people's minds automatically go to like the environment, but it really encompasses how to create and design for communities with cultural, economic, social, and environmental factors in mind. And so trying to figure out how to incorporate that in housing is going to be a big part of like my research as a master's student and as my career once I become a professional.
Okay, cool things. Okay, that is so nice. And yeah, I actually watched her um grow into what how can I explain it? Like I seen the motivation with her over the years since high school. Um, one of the presentations that her and her classmates they actually brought tears to my eyes about some community work and difference they wanted to make in the community, and that's why I'm interviewing her today. And as well as my other niece that makes good, feel good music, which is a refreshing thing for our music community as well. Okay, so I'm gonna get into the questions, just a couple of questions. What is your passion or your why of why you got into what you're doing?
I feel like growing up, housing insecurity was a big thing. I mean, most affordable housing in Oakland is not designed in the best way, and I feel like it's unfair to separate housing in a way that makes low income people feel like they're less than what they're worth just because they can't necessarily afford all the like big things that other people can afford. And I think the way people live and how comfortable people are also contributes to like their well-being, their mental well-being, and their physical well-being. And I see it reflected in the way people behave and act as well. And I think that kind of public health kind of starts with like where you are and like where the environment that you're in most of the time, which is your home. And I just want to seek to improve that for communities like mine because I don't see enough people trying to do that, and like I wish that more people did it. And I know design is a big part of that as well. I think people can come from the area of like city planning and come from the like area of government and policy, but also when you think about it, designers play a big role in the way people's homes are designed and how comfortable they are, because not every home needs to be a cramped 600 square foot box that is housing like families of 4 to 6 people. I feel like there just needs to be more access to different types of housing for different types of family, because there's no one type of family like nuclear family is not the definition of what majority of the families out here looks like. And I feel like homes kind of try to fit that ideal, and I want to like push towards a society that has a modular way of thinking about how families and homes like kind of fit together, and the way and design I feel like can help push that thinking.
Okay, okay, nice. Okay, so one question I usually ask people my age and the elders this, but how are the youth valuable for the future of the revolution? Well, you kind of are just speaking for yourselves, really, but you can answer that question as well. In your thinking, how are the youth valuable as a youth to
I
the
mean,
revolution?
I feel like it's a cliche, but people always say like the youth is the future, and I feel like the more we're educated on things that have been systemically impacting us, the more we can push towards things that will kind
Hmm.
of break those barriers down. And like I've always known that I wanted to do something in housing, but I never knew what that looked like. And by chance, I went to UC Davis and I started learning about what sustainable design is and how that can be incorporated into like our everyday lives. Um, Further than like the environmental aspect of it. And I feel like the more we kind of not just understand what's going on with the world, but take action and take
Hmm.
steps towards making an impact ourselves, like the better off we'll be in the future.
Okay, let's be out here with the turkeys. Okay, and one more question for you. It kind of ties in with the last question. What does revolution mean to you?
I kind of think of like social change when I think of that, and I kind of feel like it like very similar to my last answer. Like the more we understand what we're doing, and the more we understand the systems that are in place that prohibit us from doing certain things, the more social change that we can make. I think it starts with first letting people know what's going on. Like not everyone has the access to the same information. I think being able to provide that access to information is very important because I mean, at least for me growing up, I was very much in the dark about like some of the systems that prohibited me from doing certain things, and that kind of got me in certain some of the living conditions that I was in, and like
Hmm.
the environments that I kind of grew up and I was surrounded by. And I think that like being exposed to a wider range of like people and places and things has kind of opened my eye up to like, oh, I've seen certain communities that look just like me in different countries living a different life and more healthier lifestyle, but like here in the US we live a certain way because of like policies and greed and like all
Hmm.
these things that kind of prohibit the growth of certain communities. So I feel like social change is kind of figuring out how to navigate that, and figuring out how to make the most impactful action as possible.
Okay, okay. Okay, and I suppose to interview one of your teachers too when they got time. But yeah, that's another.
Okay.
He gonna be proud of you. Okay, now we're gonna get to one. Okay, now yes, my niece Jada, and she has the stage name and she has bars. Well, that's what I call it. Um, like I don't even know what to compare. To me, it sounds like neo soul, but I don't know. I don't like comparing artists anyway. But yeah, she go crazy. I'm gonna let her tell her about herself. Tell you about herself and go from there.
Hey everybody, so my name is Jada, but my stage name is Jada Chi. I am a singer and a songwriter. I perform around the Bay Area when I can. My genre is neo soul slash R&B. I do I do 90s slash 2000s inspired music, so
Okay.
I bounce back and forth. But yeah, that's a little about me.
Where you from?
I'm from Oakland, but I reside in Antioch. So
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And how long have you been sing? I don't want to say how long you've been singing because
yeah.
we know how long, but how long have you been trying to promote yourself?
Um, just recently, I've been promoting myself and doing more shows, but I've been singing for about like 10 to 11 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this is my niece of my sister. Both of them are my nieces of my sisters, and it's like I'm amazed because that this generation is like the pop up, like I can't really explain it, but it's kind of like they are like popping up with an explosion of like more positivity, more deeper sentiment of being, and that makes me proud. And these are just my nieces that are examples of that. I see it with my community, with all the different children, um, non-related to me and everything. And I just think it's a good hope for the future. So I'm going to ask you, Jada, what motivated you to get into your music? Like, what was the spark?
I think for me, hearing music or experiencing music the way, wait, oh, that don't make no sense. I think I think the type of genre that I like to do, I felt like I didn't hear a lot anymore, especially with the newer generation.
Oh,
So I kind of want to bring that back, like the old '90s, the
okay.
early 2000s, that R&B, like that soul love, that heartfelt, deep emotional connection where you could feel them talking through the music. That's what I kind of want to bring back, and especially like when I perform, because when I perform live, people tell me that I speak to their soul, and that's exactly what I want to
Oh,
promote and what I want to incorporate into my music. So
okay. And that reminds me, that's what I was trying to say. Like, I see a lot of the ancestors coming back through these generations coming up. They probably don't see it or feel it, but we can recognize it if you know. And one more question I think I have for you, Jada. Um,
okay,
oh, my questions went upside down.
technical
Um,
difficulty.
um, so how do you feel about the youth of the future yourself? What value do you think the youth are for the future, or change, or whatnot?
I think that people like to call this generation the more woke generation. I feel like, hmm, I think we have hope. I think
Okay.
we have hope. Um, I think that we just need more community, especially like with our ages. Well, in any age range, I mean, but since we're the up and coming, I feel like we need more community, we need more support. A lot of people like to gatekeep, especially like speaking
Mm-hmm.
specifically about the
Mm.
little Bay Area music community. People like to gatekeep, and you know, at the end of the day, everybody about money, but at the same time, it's like we're trying to come up, and it's like there's not much money that's there to be made. Well,
It's
what the
money.
hell? What? Wait, hold on. Hold on.
But not enough people
Okay.
willing to share.
Yeah, okay, they helping me out. So there's enough money to be made, but not a lot of people. Everybody is stingy. Like that's from my experience, especially in the Bay Area music community. People are stingy. People use you, but I feel like more community needs to be brought. But I have hope for our future. You know, some people say we're damned, but I think speaking for the younger,
Sadly. We're
yeah,
all glad y'all can laugh at that.
I know.
Because we be worried.
Yeah, if we don't laugh, we'll cry for
Right,
sure.
right.
But I just feel like I have hope. I have hope in us. I have hope in our generation. Well, I mean, we got to, because this is the world we live in.
Hmm.
But I just think more community, which I'm seeing, especially in Oakland. There's a lot of like places where you can go and you can find like-minded people. So I think it's happening slowly but surely. It's
Yeah,
happening.
it's affirming itself slowly but
Yeah.
surely. And she just touched on something. I'm gonna try not to rant too hard on it. I might have to do it on another video about gatekeeping in the black community, or just in colonization of things, because that's not an original mindset of our people, or uncolonized people. Like, I don't know if y'all get what I'm trying to say, but that's like certain words I don't want to say on here, but I'm just gonna say colonized mindset is toxic for our. That's what's been holding us back. Like, thinking like the oppressor, like, oh, I'm going to gatekeep, and you have to be a good dancing slave to get this reward type shit. That's the only time I'm gonna curse. I'm sorry, y'all, but um, that mentality is part of the problem, and we can't push that. curse mentality on the next generation as well. Like, yes, we could manage things, we can make sure people are okay with what they got going on, but we should not be gatekeeping things that should be accessible and free. And what's the point where this is a form of power tripping? That's called HNIC, and that's a slave master or slave overseer mentality, and we should not have that mentality. That's a problem. But I'm going to go further into that on another time because I'll be here going on about that. But that's basically one thing she's expressing that I wanted to touch on with the gatekeeping. That's, I guess, a new term for HNIC and such, or people trying to abuse power and things like that. And so that has to be squashed. So, um, with that, any closing statements? Anything?
Um, I kind of want to say, I just want to say to whoever is having negative thoughts or just like doubting themselves or doubting the place they're in life, you can do it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
everything happens at the for the right place for the right time. I didn't say that right, but you get what I'm trying to say. It's like, just try your best to stay positive. Try your best to be happy because there's people passing away, there's people dying for no reason, there's people having sicknesses, you know that are incurable. But just please try to be happy. Please don't let those negative thoughts fester and take over your mind. Don't let it take over your prime time. That's all I gotta say.
Okay, okay. And with that, we're gonna be out on this episode. Peace.